got ourselves team 1 together with Diabolicals. Oh my god, my camera on. Oh god. So close. We got us a Sakura as a balanced druid. Actually popped off last match. Netflix as a feral druid, Cryptic on the DK, as well as Airless in the back. We got us Blood Dagger over for the team too. Not gonna be first up. We got us Conan, we got us Jash, Barretts, as well as Magnus, who I'm told is Vlad from Beta Duels. I'm trying to remember I might need like a screenshot of what Maki was wearing. Magnus though is off the bat. I like him, Mark, by the way. Look at this guy. He's like, you know what? He's one of those dudes at an auction with a gavel or whatever. He's like, he just needs a big old hat. You know, be good to go. Perfect route onto Magnus. Does go for the trigger just to stay onto Sakura as best as possible. Does go for the pummel. Sakura maybe in a bit spot. Does go for as much healing as they can. Is going to be full burst out of Sakura. Magnus with a big defensive. Trying to see if he can stay on the Druid as best as he can. Route to a quick cyclone to Sakura. Catching up as much healing as he can. Is staring the furious warrior in the face. Oh, he was the monk, Vlad the monk. Okay, that may be... I think I do remember Vlad the monk now. As a warrior now? I love that set. Look how good it looks. Oh my god. I feel like this man is about to auction me off a bunch of paintings, maybe even some shot glasses or something. My goodness, it looks so good. Got himself a bit of a defensive while he's trying to see if he can close the gap with Sakura. Tried to go for a pummel, doesn't quite connect. It's going to be a full cyclone. No reflect from Magnus, but does give Sakura an opportunity to at least establish some CC over the warrior as they're able to pelt him with a couple of wraths, maintain the DOS. That is going to be a little bit of that Fade Dragon damage from around the corners. Fade Dragon adds up quite a bit of damage, but also amplifies your nature and arcane damage as well. Magnus charging in, gonna believe for Sakura. Yet another lead by the warrior, closing the gap as fast as possible. Full stone onto Sakura with the shockwave as he got himself a bit of a reflect. Bashed by Sakura, waiting out until reflect is gone. He's gonna drop down a mushroom on the guy just to add a little bit extra damage over time on top of it. I'm loving this dot-based build of Sakura. And while you have at least 3 dots on the enemy, they do take additional percentage health worth of additional percent worth of damage, like 10% maybe, 5%, something like that. Cyclone by Sakura again got himself a little bit of recovery, trying to keep the pressure onto Magnus, but Magnus got defenses going back up sometime sooner, though it's going to be a big damage out of Sakura. Charge by the warrior off of that leap. Does he have a second charge? Fear as the mushroom is going to explode onto his feet. Goes into a bit of a defensive stance, trying to see if he can tank up against the sustained damage. Got himself a little bit of output right now. Reflect, defensive stance back in. Got himself the avatar as well. He's actually playing this super well. He's very limited on how much mobility he can really get versus Sakura. But anytime he tries to close the gap, he's playing the defenses and offensives very well. Sakura needs a couple more star surges. Do they get the procs? Stun. Magnus got himself a little bit of survivability. Got himself in Rage Regen last second. Trinket after this one. Actually, it's going to be multiple star surge defensive stance. Last second does catch one heal off of Sakura while Rage is still up. Actually, can you maybe turn around the attention onto the Fade Dragons? And just go bloodthirsting off of those things potentially. Magnus with the reflect, only so much you can really do. The thing is going to be Daz, the Moonfire, Sunfire melting him down. There's only so much you can really do. The pressure that a balanced druid can put on people right now is actually kind of up there. Sakura waiting for the next competitor. Barretts is going to be up next, trying to see if he can find himself a better angle. Does end up hitting every single one of the Fade Dragons. That is also going to give him, I guess, quite a lot of resources as well, isn't it? Quite a bit of damage altogether. Gonna be bear form for a second, trying to see if he can tank up. Barretts charging in, full wings at the ready, slamming down a big hammer of justice on the head of Sakura as the dude tank up in bear form, bark skin and everything, has himself the Heart of the Wild in case they need to drop in a mushroom. Barretts convoke the spirits to follow, blasting him out. It is gonna be full tank up for Barretts. Wall together with the Shield of Vengeance, got himself Hand of Freedom. Cyclone almost connects. Bash does trick it out of it. Is gonna actually go for a kick, but doesn't quite connect. Sakura with the fastest Cyclone ever, trying to go for a couple of regrowths while they don't have to worry about interrupts from Barretts. Yet another Cyclone just to control him as best as possible. Has the man used wings already? I think he already has. Root onto Barretts just to give him as much pressure as possible. Sakura got a lot of sustained damage. Can Barretts maybe find himself a bit of a line of sight, a bit of an angle to recover? He made it seem to be looking for those angles as best as possible. Judgment is getting thrown in. It does connect with the rest of the team. I think it's just random judgments too. Just proc judgments or whatever that do end up cleaving to, I guess, everybody else around nearby. Barretts is fine, trying to see if he can close the gap with Sakura. Bear form in case. Barretts goes for a stun. Sakura just wants to be extra careful. Bark skin, at least as long as you have a bark for this go, you're gonna be mostly okay. Terror Burst with mad damage, try to go for a kick, does get cloned. Sakura is given an opportunity to recover. Bear from Convoke playing super defensive with that Convoke. I think able to use that every minute, right? Committed into a full 1 minute Convoke every single time. That or a 2 minute? No, 1 minute. You can see it right here on bottom left. Bash and Turbos. Shield of Vengeance popping back at a bounce, Druid. Not exactly what he wanted to do. Bubble out for Turbos right now as he got himself a full shield with the cloak. Oh no, Sakura barely need help, does barely recover. He needs a little bit more survivability. Hand of freedom for the paladin cannot be rooted, cannot really be slowed. Sakura needs to make sure they have an answer for the next Hodge. The next Hodge is going to be actually deadly. Does get a juke. Oh, the Cyclone juke. How many times has they been able to pull that off every single time now? Yet another clone onto Terror Burst. Trying to see if he can back up out of there. Next kitty shot could be really deadly. Rude. Silence to follow. Perfect opportunity for Sakura to actually have a proper go. Mushrooms onto Terror Burst. Bunch of damage. Star Surges to follow. Lots of dots. Terror Burst trying to see if he can recover. 26% damage. Got plenty of health to work with for now. But no more bubble unless he got himself a Spell Warden. I think he may be in a bad spot using wings to aggressively try to go for damage as well as for self-healing. Mushrooms yet again. Spell Warden last second does get himself survivability. Cyclone will not be able to do much about it. Does go for the interim, but at no help whatsoever. Bash to stop in place. Does Sakura have one more cast or two? Just needs a little bit more. Shield of Vengeance, wall, everything is used. Convoke the spirits, maybe breaks past him. Oh, last second Convoke does end up rolling him damage buffs and damage abilities rather than self-healing. Perfect. Jash in there is going to be up next. Does get a full run to Sakura. Break out all those roots immediately. Trinkets out of this one. Just try to see if you can funnel the rest into the Bear Druid as they go in for Bear Form, Travel Form. Try to see if he can get away. Can they do it? I think it's just over. Does get himself a bit of extra health with a Battle Master Trinket, I believe. Oh, but barely any health. I think a bleed is going to have him at the end. Wait a second. Maybe. Hold on a second. Does go for Regos. Jash cannot catch up right now. Hold on a sec. Oh no, Sakura is going to be able to dip away. Wait, Warrior left on top of him, knows more or less where he's at. Guessing, good guess though. Picking up eyes, made to mount up on top of it. Oh no, Sakura doing lots of recovery right now. Wait a second, can the Boomkin pull it off versus the Warrior Stormbolt immediately? Gonna have to go through all these stunts and these bleeds one after the other. As Jash does go for a bit of reflect. He is a Warrior, not quite a Paladin. He's going to have a way to close the gap, but in terms of survivability, maybe in a little bit of a different spot than a Pala. 7 minutes into the duel, Bash does try to go for an interrupt onto Sakura, able to give himself a little bit extra haste to work with Sunders that coming through. Star Surges back to back, no interrupts available. Josh may be in a bad spot. Oh, wait a second. Oh, Sakura does end up taking it. Blood Dagger is a sub-rogue up next. Shadow Strike on to Sakura, trying to see if he can deny the Boomkin any opportunity here. Next one could be deadly, but that's going to be rude. Does go in for a little bit of a smoke bomb. If only you could still place mushrooms where you wanted to when they initially added mushrooms, like Cataclysm version of mushrooms. Right now, mushrooms need a target, but you used to be able to place them in the spot. So like Rogue of Smoke, you just place a bunch of mushrooms there, blow them up. My god, it was so good. Blood Dagger trying to go for a bunch of damage where Sakura trying to see if he can survive this cheap shot. Going to be fully DR'd, but it's going to be another mushroom onto the rogue. That's going for a Battle Master Trinket. That's go for a juke. Interrupt Cyclone. Oh, trying to go for a blind, but he's got himself that full on Temporal Primordial. I'm going through all the names. Precognition. Wait, the rogue is still dotted. Oh, Sakura got so much range. Could just go for Moonfire from a distance. Miles away. Orbital Strike Cannon right now. Actually, so good for him. But going for that precognition as it goes, Juke and Rogue, it gives you CC immunity and a bunch of haste. Rogue winning for the blind, trying to go for a bit of a resetty, will not be able to. It's so punishing for melee. But it looks like Blood Dagger was able to avoid the dots away from the Boomkin. Enough for Sakura to want to be out in the open, kind of like trying to goad the Rogue out in the open. Rogue does not have a trinket. No Shadow Mill for a bit. Vanish Cloak, everything available, so you should be able to play it super defensively. Bash immediately. Almost expected for Rogue to go in for a Shadow Strike opener. Rooted him out in the open. Unless you burn a Cloak or Vanish, there's only so much you can do. Does go for the dance. Maybe Barkskin. Trinket out of Sakura. Maybe Barkskin right here. May decide to go for big defensive. Trying to see if he can get a juke out of the Rogue. Does not get a juke. Does get juked out last second. Sakura maybe can go for big goal. Convoke cannot really stop it. Trying to play it super defensive with a Convoke. I don't think I ended up going for a lot of healing ball and bear form. Cloak Shadows by the Rogue either way though. Does Sakura maybe turn this around? Needs a bit more damage versus Rogue. It's gonna be a Rig goes back to back. Rogue is dotted. No more Cloak. He still has dots. I don't know if he's got a bleed on him from the bear form. Or maybe Moonfires, Sunfires. Does give himself a bit of a reset. Sakura picking up the eyes, should be able to see the Rogue immediately. Does end up, I think, zapping him, maybe? Almost. trying to go for a bit of that flutter around the corner. Blood Dagger does go in for the sap. Does Sakura have anything here? Has himself Heart of the Wild. Maybe can go bear form. If the Blood Dagger goes in for Shadow Strike, it could be pretty bad. Bear form, he's just able to tank up, throwing out a random Typhoon, maybe picking up another set of ice. Blood Dagger wants to see if he can skulk over there. I don't think he'll be able to reconnect unless he goes for Shadow Strike now. Bear form immediately, bash right after for Sakura, perfect timing. Bear form, cycle to follow. Blood Dagger has a tricky coming back up right now. No more cloak. We'll need to use Vanish aggressively. Trinkets, just so you can get a big go. Try to go for an interrupt into Sakura. Does not quite connect. Big burst out of the Druid. There's no cloak available for Rogue. Maybe can Vanish. Actually, no more Vanish available. I think it might just be over for the Rogue. Oh my god, Secret Thing. Trying to see if we can turn it around. Big Blaster. Cheat Death. Is it enough? Oh, doesn't have taken. The Sakura is absolutely unstoppable. The Boomkin makes a massive, massive return, dude. When is the last time you've seen a Druid do this well? Besides my man, is this Ori? Is this Ori on an ult? Is this Ori on an ult? Be real. Is this another Druid or is this Ori? Because that's the only time we've seen a Boomkin do like anything like 1v5, 1v4. Is this Ori? I miss Ori. Is this not Ori? It was so fun to watch. Oh man. I miss Ori too. But Sakura, I think, taking Ori's spot right now. Pretty quickly. Conan, last man left or for the team 2. Full team of melee. I guess that is an advantage for Sakura. They're all melee, right? So as long as you can get away from them, and the amount of mobility Boomkins have, as long as you're able to use abilities at the right time, it's not like it's easy to really play them either. At least in PvP, I imagine they're not that easy. But as long as you're using abilities at the right time, using your mobility perfectly, knockbacks, roots, everything, you're able to keep the enemy at bay and just whittle them away, rot them down. Big Star Surges to supplement the dot damage. Does go in for a Shadow Ball right after, just to get himself a restart. Is going to go Travel Form as Conan is just melting. There's nothing he can do. 61% dampener, no more defenses. He's got Fade Dragons attacking him. Is he just going to die to the dots? I think for Sakura, it's just win, right? Fade Dragon swinging around. Conan barely any health. Maybe can heal off of the Fade Dragons? If you can target them? Try to see if you can catch up. Oh, this is Star Surge at the end. Yo, Sakura popping off on a Boomkin. My goodness. Do we go again, chat? My god. Oh, that's gonna be memorable, man. Sakura the Boomkin. Well done, well done. Do we go again? Because I feel like Team Sakura never really got to play. It's only one guy got to play.